I'm pretty excited about this because I actually really like the Ace Attorney games. So I can't wait to see what happens next in this case. We'll continue from the chapter start. Alright, yeah, that's right, we got off the plane. And I remember I commented about the people standing around. March 12th, 1 p.m. local time, Hope Springs Airport. I know that once we had landed, I'm supposed to let the local police take over, and thanks to Ms. Tenero and Ms. Meal, I was able to preserve the crime scene, but I just can't shake it. I wasn't able to talk with Miss Tenero in private, so I'm left wondering just what was she up to? Why did she do what she did? There must be a way for me to continue my investigation. So, I've slept. I have not forgotten. I think it was that she didn't have permission to, like, do something on the plane? Like, help me investigate or something? Maybe, I don't remember what it was. I'm being perfectly honest. I think that's what it was. I've been expecting you, Miles Edgeworth. Oh, Francisca! Francisca, I thought you were still in Germany. What voice do I give her? I feel like I should give her a posh voice, but I don't do posh very well. I go where I'm needed. I go where I am needed. I'm gonna try to really puff up my voice. I go where I am needed. Yes, something like that. I go where I am needed. And wherever there are criminals to be caught. Her name is Francisca von Karma, the daughter of my mentor, Manfred von Karma. She is like myself. She, like myself, is a prosecutor. Are you heading up this case? It would be a bit of a relief if you are. Don't you try to flatter me, Miles Edgeworth! I'm placing you under arrest. What? It's quite frustrating, actually. I had hoped to exact my revenge on you in a different venue. I'll have to take what I can get. I never thought I'd see the day. When a disciple of the House of Von Karma would become a criminal, have you no shame? Wait! There's all been a big misunderstanding. I didn't kill the victim. A misunderstanding? I heard all about the murder over the police radio from the captain himself. You waited for the victim to on the first floor and then beat him to death. Francisca, do you honestly believe that I killed the man? I suppose I should reserve judgment until after I have investigated this for myself. I could put your arrest on hold until then. That's as it should be. Huh! I don't need a lecture on you on how to perform my duties from blah blah blah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try that again. Ha! I don't need a lecture on how to perform my duties from you of all people. To be perfect in every way. The fulfillment of the creed alone is all I strive for. I have my own creed with which I must fulfill, so why don't we solve this together? I have to get going. The crime scene awaits. Don't you dare leave town. Trust me, I had no intention to. Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Too slow. Ow! Listen up. I'm leaving you in charge of watching this man. Don't mess up, understand? Mr. Edgeworth, I'm supposed to guard him. A simple yes or no, detective. Yes, sir. Understood, sir. You just leave it to me. Miles Edgeworth, if you interfere with my investigation, I'll arrest you on the spot. Are we clear? Now then, if you'll excuse me. Good to see you again, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Boy, am I glad to see you're okay. Thank you, detective. I believe in you, sir. You can lean on me. I'll get you through this. I have to admit, I'm a bit curious as to what Francisca is up to. Maybe I should ask the good detective. Very well. In that case, I have a few questions for you. Okay. I didn't mean to walk away. Stop. I kind of want to talk to these people, though. Lunchland. Not bad. I guess I gotten big enough to ward its own branch shops. Which should I go with? Oh, this is from the Lana Sky case. Right? Like the Lunchland lunch boxes? I recommend our airport special World Flags lunch boxes, only available for a limited time. We have a variety of lunch boxes made up to look like different countries' flags. I wonder if they're aiming to take Lunchland to the international market. I think from behind. I think I've seen this man somewhere before. Nom 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 nom. In Soviet Russia, World Flags lunchboxes eat you. F. Found it, lol. Oh, I feel a wave of creative powers coming on. It's over 9,000 lols. For my next Leap movie, it's gonna be the Steel Samurai, warrior of Neo Old Tokyo, versus the World Samurai, champion of Earth. It's gonna roxer so many boxers. So the Steel Samurai is finally getting a movie. Oh, that's right. Miles is a huge nerd for the show, right? This man was in first class with me. He was quite shaken up by the whole affair. I did it. I made it the whole flight. I'm not scared of turbulence anymore. He must have been pretty scared. He kept repeating the same thing over and over to himself. What a view of the planes preparing for takeoff. Besides the turbulence, they're really not all that bad as a mode of transportation. So, I rode a lot of I've rode a lot of planes in my life. I'm actually more comfortable being in a plane than in a car. Then again, I nearly died in a car accident, so that explains everything. Initial investigation. So how is the initial investigation going? We just shipped the body off to the coroner's office. And we're taking statements now, sir. Sounds like Francisca. She was always good at quick responses to a case. I'd say she was a little too quick, sir. Oh, how so? I rushed on over as soon as I got the word of the affair, sir. But somehow, when I got here, Miss Von Karma was already here barking out orders at everyone. It was kind of creepy, as though she knew there'd been a murder or something, and had come in advance to wait your flight's arrival. It is sort of odd. She did show up rather quickly, and out of the blue. Plus, I still don't know why she's here in America. Oh. Right. She left to... Man, now I have to really think back on the older cases. She left, but what was she doing when she left? I'm trying to remember. She said she had something to do, right? I know she poked her head back in. She explained that she was busy with something. What was she doing? Wait. I thought I had it for a second. Nope, can't remember. Whatever. We'll have to just carry on and hope that I remember what it was about, or the game tells me what she's been up to, because I can't remember at all. Okay. There must be some sort of backstory to all of this. Francisca Von Karma. Miss Von Karma has just kind of popped up at the prosecutor's office about a week ago, sir. Something about chasing down leads related to a certain incident. No details. It's kind of top secret, so she can't talk about it, even with me, sir. Was it in the Apollo Justice game where we kind of found out about what she was up to? Nah, maybe not. No. She wouldn't have shown up there. When was it? Wait. Wait. She definitely showed up to the trial where Edgeworth was a stand-in for Phoenix. Did it say what she was up to? I forget. Knowing her, the only type of talking she likes to do is with her whip. Plus, I doubt the top secret part was what stopped her from talking to you, Detective. Although, I wonder if her case has anything to do with mine. Anyway, that's about all of the info I have, sir. We should find out more as we investigate. Yes, it's high time to resume my investigation. Starting with the talking to the people who involved with this case afresh. Right. So I'm allowed to go investigate? March 12th, 1:37 p.m. Flight I-390, second floor, first class. So you must be the captain. Why, yes, I am. And who might you be? I am the prodigy prosecutor, Franziska von Karma, and I have a few questions for you. I forget what I gave her. I think I gave her like did I give her like a sleepy voice? Or was it kind of annoying? I don't remember. Don't you dare, Captain, getting friendly with another woman. I'll never forgive you if you do. Well, what are you talking about? I only have eyes for you, my dear Cammy. I wouldn't bet money on our dear Captain to be much of a reputable person. Sure you don't want to ask the Captain some questions, sir? He was in the cockpit the entire time. I highly doubt that he would know anything of use. So, we actually, in the airline business, we actually changed from calling it the cockpit to the flight observation deck. I don't know if that's changed since the last time I worked with planes, but you're not supposed to say cockpit. It's like being more politically correct, I guess. I don't know. It was something that like I got strongly corrected for. Anyway, I'd like to leave that type of witness to Franziska and her whip. Is she gonna stop us? Ah! March 12th, 1:40 p.m. Flight I-390, first floor lounge. Now see here. Ah! Sorry, I'm so sorry. Gumshoe, why are you shouting sorry? How long do you intend to hold me? Is it possible for me to be a criminal? I told you. Mr. LeBlanc. Oh, it is you. Tell this man to stopping me from going. Time is money. I don't even have 1 second of wasteful time to spend. Okay. Wait, I want to make sure that nothing's happened to the crime scene. Oh. You can't go beyond here. It doesn't look like anybody's tampered it. It looks the same from what I remember. Okay. Okay. I want to talk. There we go. Did you finish taking his statement yet? Yep, all done, sir. I do not concern if you are not done examining the cargo hold. I want my cargo back. If you make a single scratch on my art, you will pay. Art? What sort of art? Mr. LeBlanc is an art dealer, so he's got a bunch of artwork down in the cargo hold, sir. There's practically a mountain of them, large and small. From folk costumes to stone statues, I sell all kinds of art. Folk costumes? Speaking of which, Mr. LeBlanc's hat kind of looks like that other piece of cloth. Oh, shiz. Oh, shiz! I didn't even notice that. It does look like his. remaining on, but interesting. Mr. LeBlanc, can you please look at this for me? Oh, it's Borginian cloth. As I suspected, your hat is made of the same material, I suppose. Borginian. You know, we started talking about Apollo Justice, because I couldn't remember when I saw Francisca. Wasn't that case with the musical one? The musical one. Oh, I'm forgetting the names of the characters. I haven't played this game in probably, like, I don't know how long it's been. It feels like it's been like 10 years. But wasn't that the small boy, Borginian? With the cocoon? The silk cocoon looking thing? Okay, anyways. As I suspected, your hat is made of the same material, I suppose. Yes, of course. The fabric is so famous, orders come from over the seas for more. I'm surprised you didn't notice that it was bloody. Then this is the cargo you were talking about earlier. No. My cargo this time is much gigantic. You detective, when can I get my cargo moved? You can get your cargo back when we're done investigating, pal. The stubbornness of you police is no good. And it is no good that the attendant refuses to exit the attendant's room too. That attendant? What if he's talking about Ms. Tenero? Oh. She's in there? What did you mean by that attendant, Mr. LeBlanc? She was taken into the attendant's room for her interview, and then they still have not come out. They make no sign of coming out either. I was finished with my own interview much earlier. Quicker than her. Oh, she's under suspicion, is she? It didn't really let me see the pilot, but I don't think the pilot was the one that could have committed this. So I guess our suspects are basically these three. Zinc LeBlanc. Okay. And Cammy Neal. I don't know. I don't have like a good bead on like who this could be yet. I'm just gonna have to wait. Miles Edgeworth! You were given free rein to examine the plane, weren't you? Yes, I was able to obtain the cooperation of the flight attendants. Speaking of attendants, I'd like to speak with Ms. Tenero. I wonder if you might grant me permission to enter the flight attendant's room? Before I do, you still have to clear up a few issues surrounding your own circumstances. I understand. You may have tricked those attendants with your sophisticated talking, but you can't pull the wool over my eyes, Miles Edgeworth. Francisca's logic. Let's not complicate things and go with the most obvious conclusion. The scene of the crime was here, in the very lounge the body was discovered. From the time the victim was seen calling for an attendant until his body was found, the only person in this lounge the entire time was you, Miles Edgeworth. This unmistakably makes you the likeliest suspect. The likeliest suspect, Francisca? Do you have a problem with that? No, but it's not like you to use such vague wording. You're usually more absolute. I'm simply trying to watch out for you. Or is my kindness too hard for you to comprehend? Thank you, but your leniency is unnecessary, for I will prove my innocence soon enough. If I want to continue my investigation, I'll have to break her line of logic fast. So... That See, the thing is, Franziska, I believe that's broken up by that. But let me make sure that I'm putting that on the right statement. Okay. Let's try this. Objection! Easy. It would appear that you did not have all the information you needed after all. What does that mean? I found a nice piece of evidence just before I was forced to stop investigating. A piece that proves the body was moved from a different location. The killer used this suitcase to move the victim's body, meaning that the real scene of the crime is not the lounge at all. Objection! Now who's the one rashly jumping to conclusions? Excuse me? All you did was find this piece of cloth inside the suitcase. That does not prove that the body was moved. It could be that the killer simply chose that suitcase as a good place to hide the cloth. I expected you would come to that conclusion. It would seem I can't escape that easily. You should know better than that. Von Karma is perfect in every way. Ah, but did you know that the killer definitely wheeled the suitcase around at some point? Objection! As if there is proof of that! Yeah, there is proof of that. It's going to be in the wheel marks here, right? Yeah. Take that! The spilled grape juice on the floor of the elevator. I said I'd like to draw your attention to the area here. Oh, come on. It's obviously going to be this. Take that! This mark here. Wouldn't you say that it looks suspiciously like tracks from two wheels? I suppose. Further, there's also grape juice residue on the wheels of the suitcase. This means that the suitcase containing the victim's body definitely passed through here. I suppose this means that the killer did move the victim's body from somewhere else. I'm glad you finally come to your senses. Objection! Not so fast. This still doesn't put you in the clear. Not by a long shot. Okay. Franziska's Logic Part 2. You prepared yourself and acquired the piggy bank before that plane hit that turbulence. And then you waited for the victim in the lounge where you beat him to death. Prepared? Nobody prepared that unless Rhoda somehow broke the glass the wrong way. I don't know why someone would do that. It couldn't be prepared. Then, while you were in the elevator with the victim's body stuffed into the suitcase, the plane hit that patch of turbulence and out flew the body from within the suitcase. With no way out, you hastily put the suitcase back where you had taken it from, and pretended to be the discoverer of the body. That's flimsy. Not a bad bit of logic for something you thought of on the fly. Just what are you insinuating? But I will show you exactly how flawed your logic is. No matter how strong of a face you put on, not even you can hide your fears from me. I'll expose the flaws in her logic in one fell swoop. Yeah, this one's easy. In fact, it's kind of silly that she made this sort of assumption. Because it's obvious that nobody prepared this. Okay, so out of its after the turbulence. Objection! Yeah. Easy. The fact that you took this piece of evidence into account in your testimony is to be commended. Your legal prowess is certainly something to be feared. Evidence and logic. Essential tools that those who will stand in the courtroom must learn to master. But what if there was a fake piece of evidence thrown into the mix? A fake. This Mr. iFly piggy bank is just such a fake. It is not the real murder weapon. Oh. Oh, I guess that makes sense. Because the turbulence is what knocked the body out of the suitcase, and then And then the person acquired this and dropped it in there? I don't know. What? The timing of when the bank was taken from the shop is important. It was taken after the turbulence had occurred. But then, what about the blood on the bank? What do you make of that? I assume it was added after the murder, when the killer fabricated this weapon. Looking at it this way, the killer basically did 3 things after the turbulence. After exiting the elevator, this is really helpful. The killer brought the suitcase to the shop and left it there. Then the killer proceeded to pick the bank up off the floor. And took it to fabricate a fake murder weapon by hitting the victim on the head. Okay. I'm guessing that it can't be based on this. I don't think it's going to be Rhoda Tenero. Because if she was a murderer, she would not have gone to the shop to collect these objects. Think about it. If she's the one in charge of that shop, the last thing you would want to do as a murderer is go into the place where, you're the one in charge of that area and acquire that stuff and set up a murder with it. So, I don't think she did it. I highly doubt that this guy got out of his seat. Unless we get another suspect. I'm guessing Cammy Meal did it. Finally, the victim's wallet was planted on my personage in my pocket, to be precise. Everything was done so that I would be framed for the murder of Mr. Acme Hicks. You there! Yes, ma'am. Other than this piggy bank, was there anything else resembling a murder weapon found? We didn't find anything in this lounge or the shop that could be used as one, ma'am. Most of the items that could have been used were broken during the turbulence, and the remaining items all tested negative for any trace of blood. I see. Well, Miles Edgeworth, it appears your stall tactics are at an end. What would be the murder weapon, though? But it's possible that it's just hidden somewhere, sir. Eek! If the criminal had wanted to hide the weapon in a safer place, I think that the weapon would have been hidden in the same place as the bloody cloth. Exactly what I was thinking. As the cloth was hidden inside the suitcase, it signals to me that the killer had not prepared a more secure place to hide the evidence, which means that the real murder weapon is either still on the murderer's personage, or still at the real crime scene. Objection! There's one more possibility, and that would be that the piggy bank is in fact the real weapon. But didn't we just... Let me finish! The killer took the bank out of the display case before the turbulence, by opening the lock on the display case door. Ah, I see. So this is how... They're gonna blame Rhoda for this. But I don't think she did it, because I don't think she would have, if she was a murderer, I don't think she would have done this. It was at that time that the glass pane in the door was broken. I'd say that's a perfectly reasonable line of reasoning, wouldn't you? Let's see, so that means that the killer had the key to the display case. Francisca, the person you're talking about. Not so fast, I am not finished. The person I'm talking about also committed another sin. She tricked the captain and granted you permission to conduct your investigation. Yes, that is a sin of lying. Speaking of which, I recall that you also wish to speak with her. Yes. Very well, permission granted, but only if I could sit in on your interrogation. Do we understand each other? I have no intention of interrogating her. You are welcome to accompany me if you so wish. Miss Tenera is in the flight attendant's room. Let's move. Alright, let's not deal with this angry man. Alright. Why did you lie? March 12th to 23 p.m. Flight I-390, first floor, flight attendant's room. So you're the one that poked around inside this plane without the captain's permission. Deviating from the flight's attendant's manual is very unbecoming, you know. What were you hoping to accomplish by doing that? Ms. Tenero. Mr. Edgeworth, you're here too. Could you please help us and shed some light on why you did what you did? Alright. That poster back there looks like it's Rhoda. Can I examine it? No, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to examine this poster. I guess it won't let me. What exactly is this panel for? Ah, that's the emergency control panel for the elevator. We used it to stop the elevator on the first floor and keep its doors open. Alright, well. Captain's permission. Why did you lie about receiving the captain's permission like that? Because I didn't think I would be able to get his permission. What do you mean? The captain, he only has ears for Cammy. I spoke with the captain a little earlier myself. He definitely seems to be rather taken with Ms. Meal. Yes, and on top of that, I had mistakenly accused Mr. Edgeworth of being the killer. I wanted to make amends. In that case, please allow me to thank you for what you did. Thanks to you, I was able to clear myself of all charges. Really? You were able to prove your innocence? Oh, thank goodness. Miss Tenero, is it? There's one more thing I'd like to ask you. You were the in-flight shop just before the turbulence, weren't you? Please answer honestly. Yes, I was. And why were you there? Well, Why the sudden hesitation? Franziska seems to have struck a nerve. All I did was go check up on the shop like I always do. You're saying it was for work, then? Yes, I'm in charge of the shop, so I have to keep an eye on it. I don't have any reason to go there otherwise. After your visit to the shop, you paid a visit to this room, correct? Yes, I came back to freshen up and adjust my makeup. I'm sorry, but there isn't much else to tell. Ms. Tenero claims to have no reason other than duty to go to the shop. But is that all there is to it? Maybe I should ask her about that thing. I guess we'll ask her about that. Piggy bank? No. Maybe it's about the suitcase, because if she saw someone move it around. Okay. If you could please take a look at this for me, Ms. Tenero. Oh, that suitcase! Yes, about this suitcase. You are the one who designed it, correct? And I think I figured something else out about it. This suitcase is the reason you went to the shop, isn't it? There's nothing we won't find out eventually, is there? Would you please tell me about this... Tell me more about this suitcase? Yes, Why? Hold on. don't know anything about the suitcase, actually. Is it just because she should know about it? Yes, I was interested in seeing how the suitcases I had designed were selling. I know that as a service professional I am not supposed to care, but I really wanted to know. I was glad to see that it was the last one there. What? The last one there? There's two. Whoa, 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 whoa. There was two. So you're saying, Ms. Tenera, that the suitcase in question was the last one? Yes, they're just so popular, they're practically flying off the shelves. Is that her lying face? It's not exactly the impression I got. The one in the shop is most definitely the last one. Well, we're currently looking at that suitcase. Really? Then I guess we sold all of them. Thank you very much for taking the last one. I didn't say anything about buying it. Then say you'll buy it. I'm sorry, I can't. But why? I think it will go great with your complexion, Mr. Edgeworth. It really suits you. I guarantee it personally as a service professional. Well, that is... How should I put this? It's hideous. Oh, shoot. Okay. I can't believe he did that. What? Maybe that was a bit too direct. Moving on, my issue with the suitcase isn't its design, it's the number of them remaining. Remaining? There were 2 suitcases in the in-flight shop when I investigated it. 2? But that's impossible. I'm sure there was only 1. Looks like her story has generated quite the contradiction. When I left the shop, I'm positive there was only 1 suitcase left. Something is amiss here. Oh, she's actually serious this time. So she does believe that there should only be 1, which makes sense because we saw it was wheeled around. So someone must have taken it and then replaced it. Something is amiss here. What could be the meaning of this inconsistency? By the way, Ms. Tenero, what is one of those suitcases doing here? That's... I thought you said there was only 1 left. That one is, it's mine. I've used it for a very long time now. She's used it for a long time? I think not. Ms. Tenera, I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't lie to me. Excuse me? I don't believe for even 1 second that you've used this for a very long time. Is that the price tag on it? What proves that this hasn't been used for nearly as long as Ms. Tenera says? Take that! The price tag? Tell me, Ms. Tenero, is it also your habit to keep the price tag pristine on your suitcase? What is the meaning of this? Why would you lie about a suitcase? Despite having faith in her design sense, the sales numbers made her cry bitter tears. Oh! She's buying her own suitcases to make herself feel better because they're not selling. Oh, that's quite sad. That's really sad. She won that contest and she was probably so proud of it, and people hate it. That sucks. The truth is becoming increasingly clear to me. Ms. Tenera, I think I understand. I know what you are trying to hide. Now then, this suitcase was originally in the in-flight shop. Seeing as how the price tag is still on the suitcase, one can only assume it was out on the floor for sale in the shop. And the person who bought this suitcase was... You bought it. Take that! It was you, wasn't it, Ms. Tenero? Hate to say this, but this suitcase that you designed, it hasn't sold very well, has it? You saw how poorly this design that you poured your heart into was selling. You were deeply hurt. That's why you wanted to make it look like it was selling by buying it yourself. Isn't that right? Then, the reason you came to the shop and came back here was, you know, another thing is like, who sells a suitcase in an in-flight shop? why would anyone buy a suitcase, like, on the airplane? Off the airplane, okay. But even then, like, buying a suitcase at the, like, airport or something like that, that would be really weird. And also, I wouldn't even buy a suitcase if it was, like, on some airport's, like, you know, website. Man, I wouldn't even buy one off of Amazon. So, I think she just has, like, a super unfortunate case of, like, what a terrible location to sell a suitcase. The only places I buy suitcases from are, like, I actually go and see them physically to go inspect them. But that's because I don't know, even if I bought it off of Amazon, I would feel kind of nervous about the quality. So I feel much better if I could actually go and see the thing myself. What is nice about her hideous suitcase, though, is that it's super unique looking. And one of the things that, you know, can happen is, like, if you, like, get, like, a pretty generic looking suitcase and you throw it, you know, you jumble them all up with other suitcases, yours can be pretty hard to find. So, like, if you get, like, just, like, a plain brown one or a plain black one or whatever, it will literally blend in with everybody else's suitcases, which is why I try to, like, add things to, like, my suitcase to make it look more unique, so that way when I go and retrieve my suitcase, it's pretty obvious. Makes it a lot easier for yourself. Then, the reason you came back to the shop... Oh, the reason why you came to the shop and came back here was... I'm sorry. All I really have is my job. I was so overjoyed when my design was chosen. I thought that maybe I'd finally accomplished something. But the suitcases didn't sell. It's because of the design, isn't it? Or because it's, as you put it, hideous. Can't say they chose a great place in which to sell them either. See, yeah, he's right, though. Like, nobody would buy a suitcase on a plane. We weren't selling a single one, and they were just sitting there collecting dust. I felt so bad seeing them there, day in and day out. So I decided to buy one for every flight I worked. What? Isn't this thing super expensive? You buy one every single time you work a flight? I see, so in order to keep your resolution, you went and bought one today as well. Yes, here's my receipt for that purchase. This receipt is clearly time-stamped at 5:40 a.m. Suitcase receipt data jotted down in my organizer. The truth is, there's still a bunch of them left unsold. They're planning to scrap the remaining ones at the end of this flight. Ms. Tenero, where are these other suitcases? They should all be down in the cargo hold. Then the suitcase the killer used could very well have come from the cargo hold. Mr. Hedgeworth, you don't think that the killer used one of my suitcases to... Yes, I do. The killer used one of your beloved suitcases. Cargo hold. Yeah, this is definitely pointing to Cammy. She went down to the cargo hold. Probably. Because I don't think... Now, this is, like, totally setting up Rhoda for this. So... Not only, like, why would, like, somebody who has nothing to do with, like, the flight itself know all these, like, little intimate ways of, like... Clearly, Cammy must have known that Rhoda's been buying those suitcases because, of course, like, look, like, she's leaving it inside the flight attendant room. So Cammy probably dragged one of those suitcases up and was going to, like, put the body there, like, replace the suitcase with the body, and maybe even Rhoda might have, like, purchased it herself, or, like, I don't know, somebody might have gone investigating or something. And then that would have really gotten Rhoda into, like, serious trouble, because then they would have assumed that she was trying to hide it. Or, even crazier, maybe Cammy was actually going to swap the suitcases in here and then like basically like take the one that Rhoda purchased and bring it down to the cargo hold. That's probably what she was going for. And then because of turbulence, it must have broke open, and she had to like quickly like go to the think of some other way of handling it. That must have been it. To move the victim's body. How could they? Those suitcases were meant to be faithful partners to our passengers on their trips. That's all I ever wished for them to be. Miss Tenero, is there any other way to get to the cargo hold other than the elevator? The only other way is just through that door there. What about security? That door has no special lock installed because, just to enter this room, you need a special key card that only crew members have access to. Which means that the culprit is someone who can enter this room. Eliminating the passengers and leaving only crew members as potential suspects. I can't believe it. Yes, Francisca. Going on these wild goose chases, you're a disgrace to the Von Karma name. What do you mean by that? The suitcase came from the cargo hold. The fact alone tells the whole story. Yes, which is why I said that the culprit must be a crew member who used their key card. Miles Edgeworth, you're proposing that the killer rode the elevator from the cargo hold, correct? Yes, that's the only realistic possibility. That other attendant, Ms. Mio. I asked her earlier and she had this to say. Francisca got information out of Ms. Mio. In order to make the elevator go down to the cargo hold, a different key card is required. A different one? Yes, and the only person who holds that particular card is you, Miss Rhoda Tenero. And only you. What? Only she has the card? What? Is this true, Ms. Tenero? Yes, I keep that key card in my locker at all times. She leaves it in her locker? Oh my god. She's been set up 20 different ways by Cammy. Could you please show us the card right now? Yes, hold on. I don't believe it. What's wrong? The key card, it's gone. Ha ha ha. Very clever. Pretending that your card was stolen when in fact you're just trying to hide it from us. You've really thought this through. Wait, it is not like that. You can tell us all about it what it's like down at the station. Officer, arrest this woman. Yes, ma'am. Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, she's innocent. What's wrong? There's disbelief written all over your face. Francisca, I know that you are the lead investigator on this case. However, hold it! Don't you even think about wasting any more of my time. You know the rules as well as I do. Evidence speaks louder than words. Even if this isn't the courtroom, that basic tenet still applies. I intend to investigate the cargo hold now. What will you do, Miles Edgeworth? I intend to do likewise. I'm lucky that she's letting me investigate with her. I think it's better to make sure that I finish the entire case in one sitting so that way I don't forget details. So